What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Skull Network. My name is Nick, and welcome back to the weekly NFL picks segment on the channel. This marks week number 13. We are coming down towards the last run of the regular season, and things are certainly starting to heat up with all these playoff races and things really starting to take shape. It's a lot of fun games upcoming. Last week was certainly one of those weeks that I want to forget more rather than less. This was my record last week, and this is my current overall season record. So things are going all right, but honestly, I really do need a bounce back this week. These are going to be the teams on bye this week, and let's not waste any more time. Let's get right into the picks. Kicking things off, we have Thursday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys and the New Orleans Saints, and it looks like Taysom Hill is going to be the starter for the Saints, and they're still down all their normal pieces, and now you have Taysom Hill in, and honestly, I think they might have a slightly worse chance with Taysom Hill in than Trevor Siemian. Now, I know he has that rushing upside and being that overall dual threat, triple threat guy, really. I do just think that it's not going to be enough against a Dallas team that, while hasn't been playing up to expectations from earlier in the season, I do think that they will be hitting a stride here sooner rather than later, because let's face it, there are some teams in the NFC East that, if the Cowboys keep struggling, can make a push. So I think the Cowboys are going to have a pretty easy time with this. I just don't like Taysom Hill much as a quarterback. Love him as a dual threat and triple threat guy, but give me the Cowboys in this one. Now, for the Sunday slate of games, I'm going to actually kick it off with the Vikings game because it's against the Lions, and I understand that this is a very good opportunity for a trap game, but come on, guys. Don't even get me started here. I'm taking the Vikings, and I'm not going to say anything else. Up next is the Cardinals and the Bears. Now, to my understanding, Kyler Murray should be back, and honestly, the Bears don't really have much of a chance in this game at all in my eyes. I understand that, sure, you played okay against a winless Lions team on Thanksgiving. Didn't impress me at all, but the Cardinals have been impressing me with Kyler Murray out. It shows that that team really can survive without some of their stars, and getting Kyler Murray back should be fully healthy, especially off of his multiple weeks plus a bye. I don't think the Cardinals have much trouble here. Give me the Cardinals. Up next is the Buccaneers and the Falcons. Now, both of these teams did pull out relatively impressive wins. The Bucs obviously playing an incredible game against the Indianapolis Colts, and I do think that the Falcons could possibly pose a threat here. This just seems like one of those games where the Falcons would unnecessarily beat the Buccaneers for literally no reason at all, but the defense is middle of the road, and I understand that Tampa Bay hasn't quite been playing up to expectations, but I do still like them a lot more, and I don't think this is one of those games where we're going to be seeing one of those weird upsets that we've been seeing all this season. Give me the Buccaneers in this one. Up next is the Giants and the Dolphins. Now, the Giants really did shock me last week, shutting down Jalen Hurts and that Eagles offense, but the Dolphins, on the other hand, are on a hot streak, and it's very odd. Jalen Waddle is really emerging as really a top prospect like he was coming out of college, and I do think he's going to be a great wide receiver for hopefully years to come here. And honestly, for the first time in a while, I have a lot of confidence in this Dolphins team. I don't know why. I understand that the Giants are playing apparently relatively well. I mean, they've had a couple ugly games as of late, but honestly, I like the Dolphins quite a bit in this one. Give me the Dolphins. Up next is the Chargers and the Bengals. Now, the Bengals do look to be back on track from earlier in the season when they were just completely dominant. And the Chargers, well, they're still one of these teams where it's like you really just don't know. I've liked to use the word volatile a lot this season, and I think that's a perfect way to describe the Chargers. I mean, come on, you went and you lost to the Broncos. I mean, what are you doing? But as much as the Chargers have been struggling, I feel like this is one of those games where the Bengals, for some reason, just forget how to play football. They've had a couple of those this season, and I think this is the perfect time for the Chargers to get back on track. So I'm going to be going with what sounds like the upset this week. Give me the Chargers to get back on track and have a big game. Up next is the Eagles and the Jets, and I understand that the Eagles struggled mightily against the Giants last week in a game that no one really expected to go the way it did. And yeah, cool, the Jets, you got your win against the Houston Texans. It really doesn't impress me at all because it is the Houston Texans after all. I do think this is a game where the Jets can play very close to the Eagles just because the Eagles are one of those very volatile teams. But honestly, I see the Eagles bouncing back this week. I see Jalen Hurts having a big game, maybe in fantasy, maybe not in real life, but I do think he'll play well enough, and the Eagles themselves will play well enough. Give me the Eagles on this one. Up next is the Colts and the Texans. Now, yes, the Colts did lose this past week, but honestly, we all know Jonathan Taylor is still an MVP candidate, at least he is in my eyes, and the Texans are still, well, they're the Texans, and Tyrod Taylor is about the best piece you got there, and he played, well, very subpar at best last week. I don't think there's going to be much of a competition in an AFC South battle. Give me the Colts in this one handily. Up next is the Washington football team and the Raiders. Now, the Raiders pulled off an impressive win on Thanksgiving. I will give them that. Now, the Raiders are one of those kind of wish-washy teams where you don't know what you're going to get. I say this all the time. I've said it multiple times in this video. Washington seems to be coming up really strong towards the end of the season here. They're trying to make a push for the division, which I don't think anyone saw coming. But for some reason, I honestly see a little regression this week. I understand Antonio Gibson is looking like his old self again, and I do think that he can pick apart that Raiders defense, but I see this one as a shootout, and I honestly see the Raiders coming out on top in what I think is a little bit of an upset. Give me the Raiders. Up next is the Jaguars and the Rams. Now, I understand the Rams have lost 3 straight and are struggling mightily, to say the least, but this is still the Jaguars, and until they show me any signs of life, I'm not going to give them any time of day on this channel. Give me the Rams. Up next is an AFC North battle between the Ravens and the Steelers. Now, I know the Steelers have just been playing awful, and Big Ben just really needs to retire in the middle of the season, and I understand that the Ravens played absolutely terrible, just god awful on Monday Night Football. This could be theoretically like a really awful game to watch because these two teams have just, obviously struggled very recently. Of course, the Ravens are the better team here. I don't think the Steelers stand much of a chance. I think it will be close just because it's an interdivision matchup, but give me the Ravens in this one. Up next is the 49ers and the Seahawks. The Seahawks just continue to really just confuse everyone because a lot of the pieces are there. The pieces just don't fit together, though. As for the 49ers, as a Vikings fan, I can tell you firsthand that run game is, well, it's very special, and you are going to be without Deebo Samuel for a week or two, so that will bring that offense back down to earth. Honestly, I just don't like where Seattle is, and I understand this is an NFC West matchup, so it probably will be very close, but I just can't go with Seattle right now. They've just been playing too poorly, whether it be with or without Russell Wilson. So with this game, give me the 49ers. Up next is the Broncos and the Chiefs. Now, I know the Broncos have played very well in multiple games this year and certainly have the ability to play up to Kansas City's level, but I think a lot of teams need to start being afraid of Kansas City. I honestly do think that they're back. I think Patrick Mahomes is back on track, especially after a week off. I think that Kansas City puts up big numbers here, and I do think that they really handled business pretty easily here against Denver. Give me the Chiefs. And end off the week on Monday Night Football, this is probably the game of the week. This is going to be the Patriots and the Bills. The Patriots, of course, have been the hottest team in football for the last 5-6 weeks now. Mac Jones has been playing great, very safe football, doing exactly what he needs to do, and that Patriots defense is otherworldly right now. But you are still going against Josh Allen. You're still going against Stephon Diggs. You're still going against a very good Bills defense. So this is certainly going to be one of the bigger roadblocks that the Patriots have come across as of late. But honestly, I don't think the Bills have what it takes. I honestly don't. They have been terrible against teams with winning records this year. They've really only performed well against those losing teams. So honestly, I don't think they have much of a shot at all. Call me crazy, but I think the Patriots handle this one without much of a problem at all. And that's going to wrap up this week's picks, everyone. If you thought these picks were great, or if you thought they were awful, whatever your opinion is, let me know in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit the button down below to subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like as well. If you want to share this video with anyone, you can do that with anyone on any platform. And if it's a crack dealer on the corner, that's your guys' best option. You guys already know. My name is Nick, and I'll see you guys all in the recap between the Minnesota Vikings and the Detroit Lions coming out on Sunday. Adios.